Yo, 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 you already know what it is. We are back in the director's den, and it has been a while. We here with the Chop Shop. You already know the gang is here.
What up, what up, what up?
Here. My fault. What's the album? I forgot I'm from New Orleans. That's why
you gotta lay that on.
Still got that Master P, No Limit.
And man, it's just been, I feel like we've all coming back refreshed, revitalized. And we know y'all missed us. Everybody.
I miss my dogs though, for real.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a minute, man. We ain't got a chance to just, you know what I'm saying?
Man,
I was excited, man. Once we put it on the calendar that we was getting back in here, you know what I'm saying? I've been praying, you know, we're going through a fast right now. So we're going through a fast at the church. So, today I was able to just, focus and, just get my mind right for the pod tonight. I'm excited.
I feel you, man. Yeah, I slipped on the fast.
Makes two of us.
You on your own today, bro.
Yeah. Dang, y'all don't pay attention to announcements and nothing.
Hey, man, listen, I was working yesterday,
Hey,
getting the church right with
I got
pictures
you.
and stuff. You know what I mean?
All right, well, let me fill y'all in.
I missed that message.
Let me fill you in. I'm going to drop it down. Hey, we're fasting from 6 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday through
tonight?
Friday.
Oh, yeah, right now.
that's
I
it.
didn't eat during that time
I didn't
anyway. I
either,
was asleep.
so that's easy.
Yeah, that'd be normal for me for real.
I'm about to say, I don't eat till like 3.
Okay, so y'all accidentally, participated in the fast. But yes, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m., 12 p.m.
That's
Just getting in the word.
My brothers keep
All right. I got y'all.
No, I appreciate you, bro.
All right. We won.
So we back. And the pork chops and gravy hitting. And, man, I know for me, it's important for me to get back in good fellowship with my brothers to really just be able to discuss just real life. Things is just going on. I mean, you're starting to see so many different types of transformations and different types of, like, the enemy trying to pull in certain areas of certain people's lives. And I don't know, it's just like the word says, where 2 or 3 come together, he is present. And so, I'm excited for today's dialogue. We're going to be discussing a little bit about vulnerability. And we just hope that you guys stay tuned, man. Tap in. If there's something that you hear you like, write it in the comments.
Yes.
comment, like it.
Hey, share it. Send it to somebody.
Subscribe.
Definitely subscribe. Director's Den, Chop Shop.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, man. So, Clee found something fire. I didn't even get a chance to hear it until today. But I'm super excited to be able to share this and be able to talk about this discussion and vulnerability. So we're going to play the tape right now and let you guys in on the conversation. And as we continue to dialogue about this piece, feel free to chime in.
When I was on the field, I was damn near about to start crying, but not because we won, but just because of the goodness of God. This I'm gonna get pretty vulnerable right here, but this week I kind of, I found myself in my closet crying, on the ground, laying down, not because of the hardships, not because of the troubles. I felt like, I was built to handle that, and I was put in place to handle this situation. But in that moment when I was talking to my best friend, how hard it was, and just, not wavering faith-wise, I just had gotten a text from my sister and my stepmom, and it was just an encouraging text on, just keep going and keep spreading the faith. And yesterday I was just praying over and over and over again, like, just one win. And but all that to say is that, God is real, God is good, and everything that we go through in this life is for a purpose.
So yeah, that was deep. That was deep, dog. Clee, how you feel about that message, man? I mean, bro is kind of pouring his heart out.
It's multi-layered. One is the vulnerability that he showed, even if he wasn't on that platform. But with him having that level of a platform and using that platform of the NFL, which we know has a history of kind of silencing or kind of shunning away from God and Jesus, for Justin Fields to be put in that position. And though for those who don't follow football, just to give a background story, the owner of the team that he's on took shots at him a week prior and was talking about basically, he just wasn't good enough for the position that he was in. But, God works everything out his own way to where the next week Justin Fields was starting and that team got their first win of the season. And so, excuse me, for him to look past his circumstances, for him to look past his situation and see the God in it, that spoke to me. That's the first thing, is he was able to kind of zoom out and look past his lens of just what Justin Fields was going through. But Lord, how can I bring you glory even in an unfortunate situation?
Yeah.
And then to also pair that with using his platform to give God glory in a hard situation. And also the last level I'm going to speak to is just as men, as black men, especially, for him to open up and be vulnerable and say that, he shed tears and not be ashamed to share that was huge and that was paramount. Like, of course, I checked the comments on it and, you got your trolls that's going, hey, bro, tighten up. But don't nobody know what Justin Fields was going through in that moment. Like he in that position. So we are in a much smaller space, whatever we going through. But to have people that you don't know kind of dehumanize you, especially for your faith, I thought that was paramount that he stood up like that for the kingdom.
Yeah.
You say dehumanize. You're right. Because we got to think, though. You got to, because how I'm looking at it, we just, Justin Field is no different than any other, let's say, African-American quarterback right now that's being scrutinized for the things that he's doing, One thing that I am very grateful for is I'm loving to see how the Lord is being put first in a lot of these athletes nowadays, So now we're starting to see even just to hop off just real quick, even what they did at Ohio State when they did that big revival, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And even with the big revival, they baptized how many people? I think it was like 15.
Hundreds.
Yeah, it was like 1,500 people,
yeah.
Lives got saved. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like being able, first of all, one, we already live in a world that's scrutinized already. So, you know what I'm saying? Not to mention, to be able to get on a press conference and still give glory to God. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, how many of us wish that we was making Justin Fields money? How many of us wish that we was able to even throw a football or even make it? Like, he's accomplished the goal of so many children. You know what I mean? They say that even in college, I think it's like 4% of them actually make it to the NFL. You got to think, how many colleges is it? A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
It's 32 NFL teams. You know what I mean? So I think that, first of all, I appreciate him being bold. I appreciate him being loud. I appreciate him stepping out on his faith. And then, you know what I'm saying, just even him just being open with, man, I laid on the floor and I cried. Not because I was sad. You know what I'm saying? But again, I got so many people rooting for me. Like he said, I went out there and I did this for my brothers. If it wasn't for my brothers, all of the people he spoke on, dang, my best friend, my family, my teammates, everybody reached out to me.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? They kept our spirits high. And I think that's something that we need to lean more into, even as brothers with each other. You know what I'm saying? Check on your brother. Pick him up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Check and see how he's doing. You know what I mean? You got to think how many times us as males, we already carry so much. I know I do. You know what I mean? I carry a lot. So those random check-ins, those mean a lot. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, and I done called all of y'all before on a random day like, hey, matter of fact, me and Shock just had a conversation. What was that, Shock? Like a couple of days ago. You know what I'm saying? It was a random phone call, but he walked me through it. You know what I mean? And it was cool. Me and Clee, we talk all the time about crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? But no, please check on your brothers more. You know what I'm saying? I always see EJ everywhere. You know, I always see EJ everywhere. You know, but yeah,
You know, I think the when you said like the captions and like going into captions and you can see like the clear disconnect
Mm-hmm.
between, don't take this the wrong way, chat, but people that have the spirit of God in them and the ones that are either fighting the spirit or they just don't have the relationship with Christ, right? It takes one to know one. And so when I think back to like how you said how people were responding to him, and I love the fact that he did it anyway, right? Is because I was just at Aaron Leroy's cool off, and one of the things that they talked about was, as a Christian, we forget that those vital things that we had as a baby, like if you think back to the things that you, when you were a baby, when you came out, you took your first breath, so to breathe, right? You cried, you're hungry, you're sad, right? I think when the spirit is on someone and when God is really using their life and really has his hands on them, he will help you return back to those natural states. And that's why sometimes in our vulnerability, it looks like, oh, he's being a crybaby, or bro, you're a professional player, like take it type of thing. But I love the outward emotion and the expression because it's like that's a natural thing to cry, to have to be hurt. Like this is the reason why we got people killing themselves is because they don't have that outward connection. And so I'm really like, just for, you know, people that's sitting back and watching this and judging, be slow to judge because there's some things in your life that if you really let God work, you would have those same outward emotions. And that's healthy. Like that's living a healthy mental life when you can really connect with yourself in that type of way and be able to do it without feeling ashamed. And I love that he wrote Christ into it because that's the only spirit that can move you, especially these days. You got so many barriers, bro. Like so many things telling you don't cry, don't do this, you're not allowed to do this, you make too much money to do this. No, I'm a human. Don't rip humanity out of me because I'm a pro athlete.
come on.
And then the more and more closer I get with Christ, those outward emotions are probably going to happen more times than none. You know what I'm saying? And so I just love that. And I, like I said, for those that's looking at that and judging that, be slow to judge because you will find yourself in those very moments, especially if you let Christ use you.
Yes.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. Like listening to it back again the second time, hearing him talking, just knowing, you know, we Buckeye fans, obviously, so we know a little bit more about his path. Like it gave me Joseph the Dreamer vibes. And I say that because dog was a very sought after high school athlete for football and baseball. You know what I'm saying? So he had everything at his feet, pedestal, you know what I'm saying? And ended up at Ohio State, you know, still everything's going great. You know, he's Heisman candidate, all this stuff, winning games, you know, gets to the NFL, didn't get drafted how he was, so they kind of put him in the basement on some Joseph type stuff. And then he's had a rough go about with every NFL team he's been on, to be honest with you, like starting with the Bears, you know. He played with one of the worst teams, and then when they finally start getting pieces together, they trade him, right? He go to the Steelers. The first 6 weeks there, I think they was like number one in their division or whatever, and then Russell Wilson get back healthy, they put him in. They trade him to the Jets. You know what I'm saying? No, then they let him go. He go sign with the Jets. He and the Jets trying to make stuff happen. The roster okay. He lose his job. You know what I'm saying? Starting job. They ain't won no games with him at quarterback. The owner taking shots at him. Yeah, our quarterback has to do X, Y, and Z, yada, yada, yada. So this particular game, he wasn't even supposed to be the starting quarterback. He only started by default. The starting quarterback for that game got injured, was a late game scratch. Tyrod Taylor, I think that's what it was. And then he slided in. He get in there. So automatically everybody thinking, oh, this is going to be an easy game for the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? And at one point in the game, they was down 14 in the fourth, going to the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? So just think about all his path, his journey up until that, all the trials and tribulations he faced up until that. And for him to be able to pull out a victory, the first win they got this season is on his shoulders. After everybody talked about him, everybody doubted him. I'm not saying he about to go win the Super Bowl or nothing, but it's like he was the default. And that just kind of, it's a word in that. Like sometimes people treat you as the default, but when God can elevate you to show you as you the one, like, no, this is,
Come on.
like I put you in this position, like
This
like
is
what
your
they say,
moment.
like I'll
Yeah.
exalt you.
This
You
your
know what I'm saying?
moment.
I'll exalt
Yeah.
you if you continue to exalt my name. And obviously that's what
good.
his family and his people been doing to him
Come
with their
on.
encouragement. And what he do when he get on the pedestal, he gives glory to God. And it wasn't
Every time.
it wasn't no ha ha ha. I proved y'all all wrong. Yeah. It wasn't none of that, bro. It was very humbling. He spoke from the heart as a man of color, and as a man of God. Like it hit different. Like you said, some people can't connect them dots right now, which is okay. Maybe not now, but I just pray that God do connect them dots for y'all later, because that man went through a whole situation just for that one win. That one win is, and you know what I'm saying? And it's only one win to us, but for him, we saw a breakthrough.
It's very similar to what's the quarterback that passed away for Ohio State?
Haskins.
Haskins. When
Dwayne
Haskins got
Haskins.
called up during the Michigan game, and they showed clips of Michigan players like, oh, they got 3 in, they got 3 in. The default, right? Like all our guys, the chosen ones, asterisks, are down. But here you are, and he steps in and he fills the void
In a very big
in
game.
a very big game, in a very big way. But he always gave thanks to God
Yeah.
for those opportunities. And so I see a lot of that same situation in him. And, you know, unfortunately, his untimely passing, but, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I think for me, it's like it speaks to two things, right? Number one, in the word it says that God will make your enemies your footstool. You know what I'm saying? For one. For two, you got to think next man up mentality. Same thing we teach the kids when we're coaching them. All right. That's no, if you lose your best player, you know what I'm saying? The next man is up, you know? Now, unfortunately, we traded away our quarterback. Then we put our new backup quarterback in. And
Speaking of the Browns. No, I'm saying for context for people that's the audience
Yes.
is watching.
So they traded Flacco, now Dylan
they
Gabriel.
traded Flacco.
Right.
Now we got Dylan Gabriel as
Oh,
our starting
crazy.
quarterback, you know? Now
That's just
Flacco was
the
out there
Browns
throwing
being
for
the Browns.
300 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Dylan Gabriel can't throw the ball down the field.
Bring
This
up
is not a
Shadur.
this is not a sports podcast, but again, you can understand the frustration. Next man up. You got to think about it. Look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't come out and be a starting quarterback. He waited for his moment. Once he got his moment, now he never lost it. He turned around and went to be the best quarterback to ever live. That's arguable.
But that speaks to y'all both said something powerful. Chalk, I'm a reverse and go in order. Chalk, you said it speaks to Justin Fields keeping himself humble and ready. As a default player, as a backup, you can begrudge that position because, man, I'm out here in practice every day. I'm getting smacked around just like the starter. I'm showing up, but I'm not getting these reps on game day. You could begrudge that, and your heart disposition could be exposed at any given time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you in the game. Nah, bro, I want to go in the game. I feel like I'm the starter. Y'all thought I was second rate.
Right.
But that wasn't his response. His response was, and this is after the owner dogged him. Like, nah, bro, like this person dogging me, nah. Like, I don't want to go out there and represent for you. Or he could have sabotaged the team. Oh, you don't think I'm good enough? You probably want to lose anyway. I ain't about to give my best. But EJ, you said something, bro, and I've been over here stirring about a baby's basic needs, what a human's basic needs are. To eat, to cry, to be comforted, to be changed. And when we grow up, excuse me, sometimes it is society that puts these stigmas on us that says it's not okay to cry no more. It's not okay to be changed.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's not okay to want to be embraced. Like when a baby is born, it's people that's millionaires, billionaires right now because they created what? Swaddlers. That's a child needing to be, you know what I'm saying, held, comforted because they just came out because of the realm that they just came out of, which is the womb. So it's a simulation, of the womb. They never gonna go back into that realm, but they know that they need to be swaddled. They're used to that. But as we get older, especially for us, and I'm gonna pinpoint this as black men, you know what I'm saying? we need to be loved.
Yeah.
We need safe spaces. You know what I mean? Like, and we need to be able to cry just like any other human. And you said it, E, like, you're not going to dehumanize, you're not going to forsake my humanity for whatever reason.
Right.
Because before I'm a man, before I'm a woman, before I'm a husband, whatever, a man of God, whatever role people are, you're a human first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter where you ascend to in life, I don't care what your bank account is. If you got the whole alphabet after your name, you got that many degrees, more degrees than a thermometer,
Yeah.
you're still a human first. You still need to be loved, and you still need to give love. You still need to, cry. But if you don't understand that from the basic part of what you said, as what we came in this world as, man, you gonna grow up in a lot of dysfunction and be trying to unwind or undo rather a bunch of trauma.
And a lot of people, a lot of young men, a lot of young girls, it starts in that childhood, you know what I mean, where you really start getting dehumanized, where you're coming up in sports and whether it's ballet or anything, that a lot of stuff is just competition based, right? And so you get into that space at an early age where somebody's telling you toughen up. And I don't think that toughen up has in every aspect is a bad thing.
Yeah.
True.
Because you don't want to also enable a crybaby, right? Like, I'm not enabling you to just always cry about it. But I think that you have to allow space. And, one thing that grandparents do these days is, my dad does it. He treats my kids 10 times differently than he raised me. And he will say, I wish I was more gentle with you guys.
Yeah.
I wish I would have cared more about feelings and stuff. I was raised to just raise y'all as men. He had 7 boys. He like, I gotta be tough on him.
He went to the man part before he went to the human part.
Exactly. And so I think a part of humanity is being groomed, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, growing up and being adult and, my dad used to always, like, it was like all 7 of y'all is the same. And I got 2 boys myself, and I know for a fact Inez and Zay are 2 totally different kids. I have to love them and groom them in different ways. And I have to also realize that I have been programmed a certain way. So sometimes that can come out as well, right? And so, you just think about, like, the aspect of, like, children and when they're being raised. And when we get to this point, you very rarely see an athlete of his stature talking and really just pouring out the way that he does, like the way that he did. And you can tell that that's a reflection of probably some counseling, probably some
definitely
true conversations being had.
He might even have a spiritual leader or a spiritual advisor. You know what I'm saying?
You can tell that somewhere in his life he has a safe space.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, you mean like he said it. Didn't he say? I don't know. Didn't he say that he prayed at home in a closet or something like that?
He said he was on the floor talking to his best friend in the closet.
Yeah, in the closet.
And
so
his
that
mother or stepmother and sister sent him some stuff.
Correct. So from my perspective, I take that as he got a prayer closet in his home. We just heard the word from our pastor this past weekend. What did he say? Everybody home should have at least a prayer closet, whether it's your car, whether it's the basement, your bedroom. You should be able to pray wherever you at. Yeah. Now, what I know Shock has something to say, and I'm gonna let you say. I just want to get this one point out. When it comes to this day and age, though, I think that even for our children, especially for like even my son, I create a space for him to be able to be vulnerable. So, like, I had to get checked early on from my wife. She explaining to me, okay, you gotta allow him to get his emotions out. It's not we ain't at the day and age no more where, stop that crying, you a little boy. You know what I'm saying? Because now these kids is bottling up all of these feelings, and now they growing up, and now that's affecting their personal relationships. You know what I'm saying? That's affecting relationships when it comes to them trying to move on or move forward, when it comes to them wanting to be with their new spouse or something like that, Yeah. So I know we talked about this before, creating spaces for our children to be able to communicate and tell us what's going on.
Yeah.
I was going to say, man, I bet, though, after that press conference, like, that release he had felt so good. Like, for him to release that way, in front of everybody, because he didn't have to hide nothing. He was vulnerable in front of everybody, like, and he just showed everybody, like, this is me. This is what I've been dealing with. But also, this is who I have in my corner. But I bet that release feel good. I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all all can say that, but I know the very rare few times that I've cried in my life, like it's been a funeral, you know, something like that. But when it's been at church in the spirit and when it moved me like that, I honestly can say after I'm like, man, I needed that cry.
Yeah.
Like I needed that cry because it just feel like it's a burden lifted off you. So, and, you know, I bet just going forward, like it's probably going to open up so many different people who probably going to reach out to him on the side, people that he might know or may not know, like, hey, thank you for sharing that testimony, because I've been fighting the same thing, but you just encouraged me to be more vulnerable and open and to keep pushing forward, pushing towards the mark, because I know sometimes you got to just say, God, get your glory. Even when you don't understand it, just be like, God, please just get your glory out of this, because I don't know where it's going. I don't know how it's going, but God, just get your glory, because I know it's only going to be your glory how I can get through this.
Imagine a space at that level, right? We see it happen in the college level. Teams get together, they pray. Some teams even get together with the opposite team and pray. Imagine at the higher level, because you don't really see that there. Imagine that catching fire. Imagine athletes now feeling positioned and called to be more vulnerable. Imagine the Me Too movement off of that. You get what I'm saying? Like, hey, me too. Man, I've been dealing with that too, man. Yo, because a lot of times, bro, they always tell you in elementary school, don't be afraid to ask your question. Because 9 times out of 10, two others in here that need that same answer. And so, you know, let this be a movement. I would love to see press conferences. Now, mind you, you know, we in the middle of a sports game, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to just, you know, every time just be like, hey, you know what I mean? But hey, if that's what God is called, then so be it. You get what I'm saying? Because it's not about my agenda. It's not about the viewer's agenda. It's about God's agenda. And God utilized him in that moment it probably wasn't even for him. He probably already been dealt with. That's why he can come to the table with his jewels. But there's some people that's hiding their jewels, man. You got two sides of the Bible. You got at the beginning, after she ate from the tree, what did they do? When God came, they hid under fig leaves. And then you got some that say, then Jesus came, and people walked with him, and they talked with him, and he was there, right there with them in their sorrows, in their mess, changing them from a thief to a disciple. You get what I'm saying? And so you got, like what side of that fence are you in? Are you hiding?
But what if, I'm a kind of pivot your point. What if we seen a Me Too movement like that in the church amongst men?
Yeah.
Of worshiping, of dancing. Like, what if we seen that?
We need more Jimmys.
Because the thing is, listen, I respect Jimmy because
I do too.
Here's the thing.
Jimmy, that's my dog.
In his day, Jimmy told his testimony one time. This is sidebar. Jimmy was good enough to get a recurring role on Soul Train.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's in that time, that's heavy. You know what I'm saying? That's almost like being a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. You know what I mean? Like, but to pivot back to the point, what if we seen that in the church though? Because how many times, and here's the thing, and I hope I say this right. The platform that Justin Fields used, being the quarterback of an NFL team, that alone is a platform, let alone in New York media. To use that platform and be vulnerable, I don't think, save your TD Jakes, your Keon Hendersons, your Joel Osteens. Other than that, in the church, nobody really has a platform that large. But then you see Justin Fields with a platform way bigger than that, willing to be vulnerable for Christ. But you got deacons on the front row. You got pastors at churches that's too cool to praise.
Come on.
You got, you know what I'm saying? Y'all the leader of the church, and no, man, what they gonna think about me? No. It's not even about the audience. It's about the audience of one.
Right.
Because one, you wouldn't be where you is without the Lord. So how is it that Justin Fields with a huge platform, way bigger scrutiny, way bigger risk, all that, is able to glorify God, take his mask off and take his cool off. But in churches all around the world on Sunday morning, you got men, you got head of households, you got fathers that don't realize the example that they're putting in front of their family of, man, I don't see my dad cry. I don't see my dad worship. I don't see my dad lift up holy hands. I don't see my dad dance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you've seen those things, how would that pivot our churches? I seen a video earlier on The Wire on Instagram where it was like a
I was about to say you turned back on The Wire.
I mean, that's what we call it. I mean, I'm a millennial, so
Yeah,
when
I feel it.
you know what I'm saying, socials first came out, we
Come
told you,
on.
hey, stay off the wire.
Stay
don't
off
get
the
caught.
wire.
You know what I
Come
mean?
on, don't get caught on that wire.
Don't get caught on the
Don't
wire.
get
B.
caught on that wire.
You know what I'm saying? But it was like a Baptist church, and the whole pulpit was full of men going in dancing. And the next thing you know, it caught like wildfire throughout the whole service. Because this is the thing. Yeah, in church, you're a deacon, minister, trustee, pastor, whatever the case is. But before you're any of those things, you're the head of your household.
Come on.
So when your wife see you play, because, okay, if the Youngs, the Jacksons, the Menchakas, they all see y'all praising, yeah, to the outside person, it just looked like EJ, AJ, and Chalk. But to y'all's families, that should be a wildfire. Once Bianca see AJ go, Bianca go in. Cass, and it catch like wildfire. Once EJ go in, Megan go in, Inez and Zay go in. Once Chalk go in, Mace go in, Should go in. You know what I'm saying? And it catches like wildfire. That's how it moves.
Yeah.
It's
Like-
so funny that you say that though, because I was talking to Baby B, and when I was talking to Baby B, she stated to me, she says, "Hey, I want the children to see you in your Bible more." So now we say, because I know me, I'm always got my phone in my hand. I might be on the Bible on my hand, but she went out and got me an actual physical Bible. You know what I'm saying? So now I do like the physical Bible because, again, the physical Bible removes any extra stuff. Like, so it eliminates the distractions. You know what I'm saying? So with it eliminating all of the distractions, now, whether it's a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning before church, and my kids who don't never knock and just bust in my room, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, they
You
can
was so
see.
salty 8 years in your bathroom.
Man, like real quick though, like I had to explain to my son, man, listen, you don't use the bathroom in my bathroom in my room. That's like a man rule. You know what I'm saying? You don't. I shouldn't walk into my room and you sitting there with your feet crossed, swinging back and forth, taking a dump in my bathroom, man. Especially when you got your own bathroom. And his response to me was, "Had a little bit more leg room in here." Like, what? But you know what I'm saying? But no, love him to death. But no. But yes, I think also too is we got to get to the point to where even prayer, man, praying gots to be the first option. I heard that. Matter of fact, I was at the cool off also. You know, I heard that at the cool off, you know, and Aaron said, we got to stop using prayer as an alternate option and allow it to be the first option. And I felt the Holy Spirit checked me with that. So it's like now everything, before I do anything now, I'm making sure that I pray first. You know what I'm saying?
Them deposits, yeah. Prayer deposits, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree. And what I was going to say, too, on the flip side of that, Clay, on everything you said, too, one thing that has to be complementary and also consistent with, like you said, the children seeing just the family in the church doing what they do for my kids. Like, what they need to also see is that it got to be outside the church, too. Like, I can't wait to turn that on at church. I can't be talking crazy at home.
John.
I can't be listening to nothing crazy at home. I can't be treating my wife a certain way at home in front of them.
Yeah, come on.
And they can't be listening to no adult conversations when I'm having with, whoever. And then when I get into church and try to flip that switch, then they going to be looking at me like, oh, you was just saying
Man, you was
this.
just cussing somebody
doing
out
this.
in traffic.
You was just, you know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Because it's going to make, so then it's going to cause a lot of confusion with, our kids and how they grow up, because now we're gonna be creating fake Christians per se. Like we're gonna be creating very lukewarm Christians,
on.
man, that ain't got no type of taste to them because we've showed them a life of, oh, well, you can be this way outside of church, but as long as you get in church, I can do this and do
Candy
that.
coated Christian.
Which is great, you know what I'm saying, to worship, but also that worship got to carry over. It can't be just no one-stop shop on Sundays, man.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and a lot of times we do see that. You know what I mean? We all was raised around it. You know what I mean? But I mean, I definitely think it's the Monday through Saturday work that, you know, I try to teach Inez and them that Sunday going to church is just us going to fellowship with like-minded individuals. That's all we doing. We ain't going to go meet Jesus. Jesus here. He
Yeah.
with us every day,
Come on.
right?
You can say that.
You know what I mean? We don't, you know, it's crazy because it took for me to mature in my faith and in my relationship with Christ to even understand my wife. A lot of wives will be a little bit more mature in those areas, especially when it comes down to kids and sensitivity. And my wife, you know, she's stern. You know, she like, you know, she don't let them watch nothing. You know, it took me a minute to get over the fact we don't celebrate Halloween. You know what I mean? Like, it's little stuff like that. You know what I mean? Stuff that in the natural flesh, I wouldn't care about. But my spirit man has always, since it's been grown, it's starting to resonate with the same things. Like we took Inez out of karate, out of Taekwondo. My wife did not like the fact that he has to bow every time he goes in and out of the ring. Bow to who? Who are we bowing to? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
that's
and she
good.
would bring it up, and me, I tried justifying it. You know, it's like touching gloves. You know what I mean? It's like, you know,
Right.
before a fight you touch gloves. It's like before a basketball game you tip off. It's like before a football game you go and shake hands and do the coin.
But
And she was like, no.
she wasn't going for the bow.
And then everybody in her community started aligning with that same message.
Yeah, we not.
And so, you know, then it was, you know, it was to me like, ask myself the question, who is he bowing to? And so it's like just little things like that you're instilling. You don't wait till Sunday to instill these principles and these ideologies. You gotta live them Monday through Saturday. So Sunday, it just seemed like we with the common folk. We not a sore thumb sticking out. And we also can be able to have discernment about those around us that may be in the church, but not of the church as well. Because a lot of people go to church, but they really not exercising those things. Same, you know, and being respectful of your community. As soon as Chalk walked in with his kids, what my wife asked you, can they watch this? That's how she is. And I've learned to be more like that. And a lot of times you'll see, you know, us men, we just tuck, it's a lot of pride, you know what I mean, that blocks us from getting to that space.
That's crazy you just said that. Because I was over here thinking, I'm like, in order to be able to heed your wife's intuition, it takes a level of humility, especially as the leader.
For sure.
Because you could disregard your wife very quickly. You know what I'm saying? All right, that's cool. Cool story, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I'm the head. I want him to, you know what I'm saying? You could have went a whole nother route with that. I want him to be able to defend himself and yada, you know what I'm saying? And gave all the, no. If my wife senses something, this her baby just like it's my baby.
Yeah.
And she also has a connection.
I didn't even fight it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Because
that's
my wife is too witty. She'd have been like, teach me how to fight. Did I marry a man or a boy? You teach him how to fight. We got a whole 100-pound bag down here.
Let's go. Let's
That
get to
man-
You know what I'm
work.
saying?
That made me think about two things. One of them funny though. One of them funny. Like we're talking about the bowing part. So like, y'all ever seen Napoleon Dynamite, bro?
Yeah.
Y'all remember when they
time.
went to the Taekwondo spot and dude was in there like, bow to your master, bow to your master. Like he was yelling at him, talking about bow, like just talking crazy to him. I'm like, so it made me think like, but it do be power trips, you know what I'm saying, in that space to where like, yeah, I got all these, you know what I'm saying, bowing to me. And sometimes little kids can take that a certain way and confuse it with that they're supposed to listen to anything that this person says, because now it just made me think about a story, way super old story. This dude was a Taekwondo teacher. This is like back in the 80s. But come to find out, he was molesting the boys, right? So, and y'all might have seen it, but then what happened was his day in court when he was walking through the courtroom, the dad was standing at the payphone, and as he walked by, the dad took a strap out, busted him right in the head on camera. Wow. Because he was like, he was molesting my kids. He was like, I couldn't live as a man letting that go on. So like it's a lot of stuff to be tied to the power trips, and like you said, that she might see that we may not see. And then the other thing it made me think about, one of my bars when you talked about just Sunday should just be we just there as a family.
Right.
It made me think about when I was like, I said, no, I don't play about my kids like Shanae. Worship with my kids every Sunday. That's a play date.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like we just go in there to worship and have fun together. It ain't no restraints on how your worship is when you get in here, baby. If you feel it, you feel it. Like, and I love to see my kids in that space. I love to see my daughters when they praise, dance, and then my son
too.
just locked in with him. He looking at him like, look at Kenley, Dad. Look at Kenley, Dad. Like, look. And he looking all around like he focusing on them. So like, it's just the trickle down effect to us, to my oldest, to my youngest, to my youngest. Like, and this is a dope thing to see how God just touched, like you said, he touched the head of the household. And then the wife, she's touched a totally different way, and they just keep going. And if we can't be so caught up in the bravado of it, of masculinity, of like, no,
Come on.
this all go through me.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it don't go through me, it ain't going. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope that y'all able to have that type of just that
And it took a
understanding,
while,
bro.
Yeah.
It took a while.
But
Like we've
it's
been
dope.
married 11 years. We probably just got to that.
No,
Like
and,
the last two. You know what I mean?
and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because like for me, like even with me, okay, me and Baby B, we just celebrated 15 years of being married.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? But it's still things that we are learning about each other in this season. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to think. AJ at year 5 ain't who AJ is at year 15. Baby B at year 5 ain't who she was at year 15.
And bless
you know
God
what I'm
for
saying?
that.
And bless God for that.
Because
you know
some
what I'm saying?
people are the same
That's a
people in year 15
testament.
that they
That's
was at
definitely
5.
a testament to who God is. You know what I'm saying? But again, in the Bible it says when a man finds a wife, he finds what? A good thing, right? You know what I mean? And again,
Finish that.
Yeah,
and
I was
obtains,
waiting.
and obtains favor from the Lord.
and
sir.
attains favor
Yeah,
from the Lord.
Because there's some things, as the unmarried person in the room, there's one thing that, and I'm going to jump right back out and jump let you get back in. There's one thing the Lord told me is you can't look at a married man's life and your life and think they're comparable. There's things that's in that man's life
Come
that he
on,
only
man.
got because he got favor.
Come on, man.
So that's a trick of the enemy.
Come
You know what I'm saying?
on,
That's why I
man.
wanted you to finish that verse. It's certain things that y'all didn't get in y'all's life until y'all wife. You
Correct.
know what I'm saying?
And that's inheritance.
Yes.
You inherited.
Ding, ding, ding. Come on.
you know, but it goes back to the rib piece, right? Like
Yes,
she
exactly.
took from
She
your rib.
took from
he didn't
your
take the
rib.
whole rib cage,
Right.
but
He
he
took-
did take something that you
Correct.
vitally need. And that you can't get until you find that extra piece.
Come on.
You get what I'm saying?
Hey, y'all preaching tonight, boy.
Come on,
Y'all,
I'm
y'all
pro-marriage.
speaking
That's
tonight.
Because you was fasting.
Y'all
I'm pro-
speaking
right.
tonight,
Thank you,
man.
AJ.
Because you was
Y'all
fasting.
speaking
We appreciate
tonight.
the overflow. Yeah?
But no, but just to finish what I'm saying, it's just
You ain't
like
the same AJ. You ain't the same. Go ahead.
I ain't the same AJ, but at the end of the day, right? Your wife is your helpmate. You know what I'm saying?
Critical advisor.
And you, EJ, you just spoke to that. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, don't get me wrong. For those out there, I don't want everybody to think that me and my wife just is all hunky dory, because it's not like that. We don't agree on everything. You know what I'm saying? But I'm at the state now where I pick my battles. You know what I'm saying? Something doesn't work going back and forth on. Okay, baby, this is how you feel. All right, I got you. You know what I'm saying? And again, I feel very much so like I'm the head of my household, you know. But the question is, people get so bent up and saying, "Oh yeah, I run the house. I'm the head of my household." But are you showing that you the head of the household? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you? Go ahead.
I asked Meg, it was like year 5 of us being married. We was going through hard times, and probably like the first year to the 5th year was probably like the hardest years of our marriage. Like if we would have threw in a hat, it would have happened then. And I remember me just being so enamored by, I'm the man, I'm the husband, I'm this, I'm that, right? Like follow me. And I remember she sat down one day, she said, gave me a piece of paper, and she said, what of God that you have Write it down on this piece of paper. What of God that you possess that you want me to follow? And she left the room. When she came back to the room, I had nothing on that piece of paper.
Humble.
And it really, you know, it just made me think like, yo, God has positioned my wife here for me. And she's already, think of the things she's already followed you in that was not of me. I've given her enough discernment to say, stop. Until he gets these things in a line, or at least starts developing that relationship and walk with me in the way that I want it, you won't follow him. And so, you know, it just taps into a whole nother level of community is everything, bro. Like, I got through some tough moments because I had some really good, solid people in my life that could tell me, E, you wrong. Yo, you shouldn't have, I wouldn't have responded like that. I don't think that was the godly way of handling that, right? And so I started just, you know, putting myself around better people, and mainly because we got boys now. I want them to be able to see the God in me. I love that your wife bought you a Bible. My wife bought me a Bible. And it was more so the same thing. What they see is what they regurgitate. They watch TV, they know the song. Inez watch TV, he know the jingles to all the commercials. They see me reading my word. They see me in my prayer. They understand that this is not just a check off the box. This is a necessity to live. Just like eating is, just like breathing is, just like those other 5 senses and all the things that we have, like we have to be the example.
Come on.
And you know, I think a lot of men want to. I just think it's you.
Yeah.
Because with me, it was me. It wasn't nobody else. It was me looking at me and saying, I could stop doing this. I don't want to stop doing this. It always comes down to, I don't want to. I don't want to. But have you really been submissive? Have you really submitted yourself unto God to be able to hear from him and say, he done told you 10 times, stop doing this. If you stop doing this, I guarantee you there's freedom, there's access, there's this on the other side, but you have to stop doing this one thing.
That's it. That's all he's asking.
Are you in tune? You know, can you hear him? Do you know? Right? Like a lot of times we don't even know ourselves. And this is a much deeper conversation into mental health and to so many other different spaces that I feel like, but for the sake of this, know yourself enough to know what you're putting out. At least. I respect the pimp that say I'm a pimp. And he don't hide behind nothing else. Every time you see him, he got the pointers on. He's ready to go, and he got the powder.
The thing that
I respect it because it's real.
excuse me. The thing that is congruent in all of y'all's testimony about y'all's households is this. It's Proverbs 14:1. It says, every wise woman buildeth her house. I'm going to stop right there. In order for it to be built, you got to have access to the construction site
Come on.
to build. If you're not vulnerable enough, your wife can't build. Your wife is pinpoint accurate when she hits you with the write down what of God that you want me to follow. Your wife told you, I'm getting you a Bible. You know what I'm saying? And I know how your wife Reverend Shoe Chop, you know what I'm saying? But still, it says a wise woman buildeth her house. Now, we're not talking about a physical house. We talking about the family and the home. But in order for her to be able to see what needs to be done, it takes a level of vulnerability from all of y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To be like, hey, she right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do need to get off this phone and be in a physical Bible. That's her building her house, because not only is that her building up her husband, with your example, AJ, that's not only her building up her husband, that's also her building up A3.
Yeah.
That if my sons, because she know how A3 admires you and looks at you. So that's a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the BOGO. A wise woman buildeth her house, but the B clause of that says, but a foolish woman plucketh it with her own hands. So a woman can build it or they can break it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but to bring it back, you know what I'm saying, to the beginning, that vulnerability piece is so important with husbands. You know what I'm saying? And with a family. Because if you're not vulnerable enough, now your wife has nothing to put her hands to. Now you've created a frustrated wife.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I can't tell him nothing. And if your wife can't tell you nothing as your critical advisor, now with any type of advisor, you can take it or leave it. Financial advisor tell you something, you take his word as gold. But God then gave you a critical advisor that he tell you, this comes with favor. You gonna have to be vulnerable though. Like that's your safe space.
Yeah. So I think, like what y'all saying is that us as men, I'll just say men, fathers, husbands, head of household, our testament is to continue to show and be that example on how to live, how to move throughout your day, you know. Outside of EJ, you know, Shock, Cleo, we all got daughters. I hope my daughters find a God-fearing man, you know. Like, just full transparency, you know. Like, my daughter's celibacy, you know what I'm saying, is extremely important to me. And now it's like, even when now that she's at the age now where she is dating, I won't even say dating. I'll say she's at the age now where she's entertaining boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's what, 15, 16?
16.
16? How's that?
That's what he called me about. And I told him, I was like, man, it's a conversation. This is a 2-for-1 because I'm going to get there eventually. So
Yeah, buddy.
I think for me, what I can say how that is, I can say it is every day I'm learning my daughter. Every day I'm learning and I'm seeing God has his hands on her. And that's nothing but a testament to how her mother handled her. So as a
woman building her house.
Come on. Would you just say as a wise woman buildeth her house? You know what I'm saying? So my daughter is very attentive to how her mother moves as a wife. Not just a mother, but as a wife. Because again, she knows one day, and we're talking maybe soon. I'm not saying soon as in next year, next month, but 5 years, 10 years, that come fast. You know what I'm saying? But to be able to say, I know what to do because I have examples. Also, too, let's get back to how it used to be back in the day, where your parents didn't stay, not the bad part, but your parents done been married for 25, 30, 40 years. Let's get back to that. Because I think we got away from that. You know what I'm saying?
I think with that, though, we also got to mix in some vulnerability.
Correct.
Because, for example, my parents were married for 27 years until my mother buried my father. My parents never argued in front of us ever. And we knew, I tried one time to get into a conversation that my parents was in. And I don't know who popped me in my mouth, but I just remember, don't ever try that again. But I think that's a great testimony that they was together 27 years till death did them part. But also, I wish my parents would have let me in on the difficulties of marriage. You know what I'm saying? Within, you know what I'm saying? Appropriated, you know what I'm saying? For my age, because it's great to tell those stories. You know, my grandparents been together 50-something years and 60-something years, but was there some infidelity wrapped up in that?
Maybe.
Was it some layoffs laid up, you know what I'm saying, wrapped up in that?
Maybe.
How did she hold the household down? You know what I'm saying? What did he go during those, you know what I'm saying, during those times? Was it some sickness wrapped up in there? You know what I'm saying? We love to tell the glazed up part
Correct.
of it.
You gotta normalize it.
Come on, E. You know what I'm saying? I think that we gotta, you know what I'm saying, mix that together though, is like Chalk said, you know what I'm saying, is certain things that's grown ups conversations, but also we need to be able to pass that legacy down and say, hey, did, you know what I'm saying, we've been together all this time, but this what you didn't know about our marriage.
But is that a conversation that you allow the mother to have with the said daughter?
I think both.
Correct.
Yeah, I think both.
I think both.
I
Well,
think it has to come
I would say-
together as a package.
Yeah.
Like y'all have to present this because it's not just, even if it is just her story or even if it is just your story, you have to bring it to the table and say it together, because what that does is it shows unity.
Correct.
I remember my grandpa and my grandmother, I never knew this about them. They've been married almost 40-something years now, live in Cincinnati. And he told me, they told us, they said, listen, things have always been not always the best, right? Like when we were first coming up, like we had financial issues. We had these issues. This is my grandparents that's well off, multimillionaires. But we found success. We had success. And then one day they dropped the bomb on. They said, you know, your grandfather left the house for 6 months. He had the 7-year itch or 6-year itch. That's what they used to call it back in the day. Something I never knew. And I remember it opened up a whole nother level to our relationship, because I'm married now. And not everything is honky-dory or not everything is cool. And me and Megan, we've had our times. But I love that they were so vulnerable with me, because it didn't allow me to run from my situations. It gave me a community and a support system that I could then go to and say, hey, Grandpa, I ain't got no 7-year itch, but this is what we going through.
Mm-hmm.
You was transparent enough with me to let me know that in our success, there was a lot of imperfections.
Mm-hmm.
I believe my marriage is going to be successful. I'm in a stage of imperfection right now.
That's good.
And so I need to, if you could just lend a listening ear, or if you could just give me some of your best advice, because you've been married 40 years. And then I found out you left. And then you came back.
Yeah.
And she welcomed you with open arms.
Correct.
And so y'all been through some things that experience is the best teacher.
But then it goes back to what we were originally saying. That takes vulnerability.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where most men lack, is the vulnerability portion.
Yeah.
To be able to find somebody that they can go to and say, hey, you've been through this. Can you help me out, man? Like, I love my wife. I have, like, great word you use. I have some imperfections that I'm dealing with, though. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we're not perfect. So we got to stop acting like, oh, we got the Cosby marriage. That ain't real. That's not real life. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, did they eventually get to the Cosby marriage? Of course. You know what I'm saying? But I've only wanted to do it one time. And and again, I'm not saying that anybody who has done it more than once, that's not a shot at them or anything. I just said, me personally, I only wanted to do it once, because as open as I am with my wife, I couldn't imagine loving another person the way that I love her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, I couldn't imagine losing her. And I'm not saying losing her as in, oh, she left me. I'm talking about, like, her passing away and then me having to move on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because,
tough.
like, that would be extremely difficult for me, because, again, a person that I've opened up my whole heart to, you know, I don't know how I would be after that. You know what I'm saying? So God forbid anything happened to her. You know what I'm saying? Please, Lord, allow me to supersede her. You know what I'm saying? Like, allow me to leave before she does. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't say that my heart can take that type of heartache. But what I will say is, again, like, being vulnerable does not mean that's a sign of weakness. You know what I'm saying? It's a sign of strength. I know now I'm more in tune with my emotions now at the age of 37 than I was 2, 3, even a year ago. Shock spoke earlier about crying in church. Man, I be finding myself crying all the time in church. You know, this past Sunday, right? That was powerful. All of these people walking up to the altar, just laying their burdens. You know what I'm saying? And as I was walking past everybody, putting oil on everybody's forehead. You know, I could feel the heaviness of burdens that people was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, as I look left and I look right, who do I see? My 16-year-old daughter up there by herself. She didn't need a friend. She walked up there. She seen me and her mother laying our burdens at the altar. The Holy Spirit told me to go over there and pray for your daughter. And that's what I did. And in the midst of me praying for my daughter, I'm just bawling, crying. That's vulnerability. I'm not afraid to cry in front of people. I'm not afraid to cry in front of my family. I tell my son, hey, sometimes, son, you do cry. You do got to get it out. Now, everything can't make you cry, son. Sometimes you got to be able to not show your true emotions, but again, still be human. You're a human. You know what I'm saying? You ain't a robot. Don't make it seem like you don't have true emotions, because there is gonna be things that hurt you. Shoot, this day and age, I still have things that hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying? There's still things that I don't agree with. Whether it's a job, whether it's words, whether it's friends, whether it's, you know, anything. It could be anything. But again,
I don't even think it's not, don't let your true feelings show. I think it's always let your true feelings show. Sometimes it's not to get in the way of how or what you're doing or the context of whatever it is. You human. I think that's the piece. It's like straddling the fence and saying sometimes do it and sometimes don't. I feel like especially these kids these days, they just need to know, am I going A or B? If you tell them, hey man, this ain't the time for that.
yeah.
I think it just leaves them straddled on the fence, because when is? You tell me to be myself and be natural and to release, and then when I release, like for example, the other day, my son, just yesterday or the day before, my son was going through my wife's phone, and you know iPhone makes those stories of your pictures and stuff.
Oh yeah.
He was just watching all of them, and then next thing you know, bro, this my youngest, Zay. He's just in tears. And we're like, what's going on, buddy? And he's like, I just really love those pictures. Like, those were good times. I was like a part of me was, that's where, this is a fine example.
It was the voice for me.
Because I'm like, and really, I couldn't say nothing, but me not saying nothing was the best thing.
Correct.
In that
I'm
moment.
I'm with you.
Like sometimes, even as a parent, like I just had to let mom
Take
handle
that
this.
time.
Like, cause she just grabbed him, and she was like, "Oh, it's okay," she was handling it. And I'm like, cause I felt him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we have our children. Your children will make you pull that child out of you
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Like, dang, I do feel you, cause I get like that too. I can't. My mom, she passed away when I was 13. All those books down there is pictures of her. Y'all left, and I got to go and do those pictures, or the little USB that my grandpa made me with her videos on it, and I haven't seen her in 22, 23 years. I be down here, disconnected the cameras and everything.
Snot coming down.
Oh my God.
Let me ask y'all
Oh
this.
my God.
Let
I'll
me
be
ask
upstairs
this.
soon, babe.
At what point do y'all begin to bring your kids into a different level of access? Like, Chalk, for you, like, at what point do you plan on starting to have those conversations with Kinley? You know what I'm saying? About like dating, or what do you observe about me and your mom? You know what I'm saying? Is there anything, like you kind of get what I'm putting down?
For sure. I mean, so right now, Kinley is 12 years old. She's in 6th grade. And I feel like once she gets to like around the like 8th grade, I mean, when I'll say when I start getting when I start catching wind of when she's starting to really like boys, you know what I'm saying? And when I feel like she's getting to that phase of things, I feel like conversations will change, you know, because I don't want to jump the gun either. You know, I want to let her be a little girl as long as
Come on.
God allows her to be a little girl. I
sure.
don't want to force
Come
no type
on.
of
Show.
conversations on her at all, because I'm very blessed to have Kinley in the type of mentality that she has. Kinley does not jump the gun and don't want to be grown no
Yeah.
time soon. Kenley loves being in her space right now, and I let her be there. But once I start catching wind of, little boys poking here and there, or conversations about little boys starting to happen, like I'll ask her every now and then, like, you know about any little boys that like you? Anybody got a crush on you that you know? And I'm like, you're gonna have to tell me anyway. I work at the school, so
I'm gonna find
I'll
out.
find out,
Yeah.
one way or
I'm
another.
gonna find
Yeah.
out.
It's best you tell me yourself. But once I start seeing her catch wind of that, then the conversations will change and start asking her like, "What do you think relationships are supposed to be?
Mm.
How do you, based on what you've seen, how is a man supposed to treat a woman, and how is a woman supposed to treat a man?
Mm.
Because that woman treat a man part is rarely ever discussed. You always just see
That's
women
big.
talking about who raised you and who raised all these men.
That's
Now they don't know
big.
how to do this, they don't know how to do that. But I don't rarely hear nobody talking about, are we raising queens? Are we raising women as wives to be attentive to their husband
on,
and
child.
everything going on? So
Yeah.
the conversations will get deep. I'm glad she's not saying nothing about it, because I'm not really ready to go there with her yet, because I still see her as my little promise baby, my little
Yeah.
Kenley with, the one she was.
Kelly mamas.
You feel me? Like, yeah, like I still see her as that, but I know it's coming. And
Yeah.
that's why when he hit me with situations and he called me, I know it's a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
I know it is. And I'm like, all right. So I'm like, all right, first we're gonna talk about it as just RNs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're gonna get the RN part out the way. Like, we're gonna just say what we really feel. I'm like, all right, now let's dial it back now. Let's go back into where God really wants to go with this. So then at that point we start pouring into each other about, what he's done already with his daughter,
Yeah.
and what I think about that. And I take that and I'm like, okay, well, what do you think about this with Cass? So it turned into just a good sparring session
Yeah. Yeah.
with
Yeah.
me and my brother about
Yeah.
our daughters, which I'm thankful to have. So once you start talking about that, that's when I'll get to it.
Yeah.
Read and react.
And because once it comes though, and it's not bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's going to be a moment that you're just going to dread or anything like that. No, you just, hey, baby girl, this is what you got to be up against. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even for me, when I talk to my daughter, I tell her, hey, when your man, your husband, first walk through the house, right? I don't care how upset you is or anything. First thing you do is ask him how his day was. I said, you could choose to be and say whatever, but I don't care what's going on. The first thing I want you to ask him is welcome him and ask him, how was his day? Be his safe space. That's extremely important. Allow him to be able to confide in you. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, not being his punching bag, but somebody he can confide in. There's a difference, So now that we're having these talks, now that I can have these talks with Cass, you know what I'm saying? Because my baby 1 year removed from having to go away to college. You know what I'm saying? To now where all I'm going to think about is, all right, baby B, we didn't had her for the last 18 years. Now it's time for her to leave. Now when she leave, she got to be able to take everything that we gave her. I know I'm going to be praying heavy with my daughter leave. Shoot, to be honest with you, wherever Cass go to school is, that's where I'm moving to. I'm just gonna keep it all the way funky. I'm just gonna keep it all the way funky.
I think that this conversation leads into a great episode 36.
Come on.
Talking about creating a safe space for your child.
Yes. Yes.
And there's been some few examples that's been out there on the internet that I think we could really dive in next Monday. We're gonna table that for then.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, man, I think that this conversation was edifying.
What?
I think Justin Fields' action sparked a conversation that was needed. And if I had to say anything as my last words, be more like that. We need more of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
To spark the right conversations around vulnerability and Christ.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't let a default situation cause you to defer. And what I mean by that is Justin Fields, prime example. He was the bench rider for that game. He was the default guy who had to start. They wasn't planning on starting him. But one thing it did not cause him to do was to defer away from his faith.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let a default cause you to defer.
That's good.
I just shout out Justin Fields, man, to be a champion for the kingdom.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge. Again, as a black man, as a NFL quarterback, a black NFL quarterback, and then also that platform of the New York media, you know, to stand
That's
up
a tough
there
one too.
Man.
and
It's a
watch.
tough one.
And this just came to me that God trained his trust, that he knew I could trust Justin with this. Even with the owner, and watch this, Justin Fields could have went up there and used that moment to take a shot at Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets.
Easy.
Instead of doing that, he went the complete different direction and gave God the glory.
Correct.
And in so doing, it's almost like when God asked Solomon what you want. Since this ain't what you asked for, this is what I'm going to give you.
Come on.
So since you didn't go up here and take care of Woody, I'm going to take care of Woody because you pointed the attention back to me.
Mm-hmm.
So Woody, watch your mouth.
But apologize, my boy.
I think for me, I think I'm gonna say something that my wife always says to me. Don't major in something that's minor. Don't take something that if you just take it to the Lord, it can be figured out and make it a big situation. Because sometimes I know we tend to blow up minor situations and then we say, dang, if I would have just did this, this wouldn't have even got blown up just like that. So again, don't major in something that's minor.
That's a good word. That's a good word. Hey, we want to thank y'all for tapping in with us this week.
Yes.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation. And listen, man, if y'all see other examples or things y'all would love for us to talk about, discuss on the pod, send it through.
Come
We
on.
always looking for real life situations to be
Yes.
able to break down and bring some word to the real life situation, man.
Yes.
Once again, it is the Chop Shop on the Director's Den, episode 35. Make sure you
35.
click subscribe, like,
Yes.
comment, follow us on all platforms,
Come on.
and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
All right.